Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another day in paradise, the world of finance. And now, guys, these videos have no advertisements on them whatsoever, so if you are enjoying them, make sure you share it with all the people you think would like it too, and make sure you press the like button and subscribe to really help out the channel and motivate me to put as much work into them as I possibly can to make the quality as high as possible. So to start off, a little bit of a market summary. The S&P, Nasdaq, and Dow Jones are all three down about 1.5%, and the Nikkei, DAX, and FTSE are about equal. They're just going down a little bit less, but all still a little bit on the downside. Now, moving further though, XRP Crypto Wolf posted on Twitter, the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, praised U.S. regulators' efforts in the crypto asset space. The FATF has rated the U.S. largely compliant with its revised criteria for preventing money laundering and terrorist financing through digital assets. Just a quick mention of how this is all actually improving quite rapidly and how this money laundering issue that used to be there is actually deteriorating as we speak. Now, next up, again, Crypto Wolf. The European Central Bank extends the review of its monetary policy strategy until mid-2021 because of the global pandemic. Also, the annual ECB Forum on central banking in Sintra has been postponed to 10 to 12 November of 2020. And again, this might further be stalled if it is the case that the whole pandemic actually lasts longer. But it is also, I think, in my opinion, quite important to see that all these major events in banking and major talks and conferences are all being moved, and thus a lot of information that is supposed to be given to the public, which are normally discussed at these events, are either stalled, which is one option, or they are not done in these sort of traditional meetings style anymore. They're going to be done through possibly sources like Twitter with files attached to it, or maybe over a news website, like their own website on a blog post or something like that. They've got to find multiple outlet sources for themselves, but either we're going to be withheld from a lot of information for some time, or, which is of course the other possibility, is that they post it on blogs. There has been 9.9 million jobless claims in only 2 weeks. The unemployment numbers are going to keep getting worse as countries remain on lockdown, which will end up causing huge demand to the economy. Comparing the numbers to 07-08 recession is scary, because if you check in this chart right here, all these darker gray areas are times of recessions. You can see here gray bars indicate US recessions, which are mostly all over the world. And what is so interesting to see right here is that this was the peak before. Peak weekly jobless claims historically peak near the end of recessions, which is, ridiculously high for all the numbers prior. I mean, actually, this is the record at 695,000, which is at the end of the 1981 recession, or 1983 then. But look at where we are at right now. It's really crazy if you look at it from a broader perspective like that. We're so far up right now, it's just completely mental. These are the weekly jobless claims spike off the chart. 9.9 million claims in 2 weeks. Initial weekly jobless claims ending prior Saturday, seasonally adjusted. And I think there's even one more bar to be added to it now, as it's already the 4th of April. But I haven't gotten an updated one quite yet. But I think it's already really strange to see it up like that, guys. I find this ridiculous. Like, these numbers are just completely insane. OPEC Plus meeting delayed as Saudi Arabia and Russia row over oil price collapse. Sources: Dubai, Moscow, Reuters. OPEC and Russia have postponed a meeting due on Monday to discuss oil output cuts until April 9th. OPEC sources said on Saturday as row between Moscow and Saudi Arabia over who was to blame for plunging crude prices intensified. So the whole rest of the article is a little bit more of a history lesson here as to what happened the last couple of weeks. We went over that in great detail though. The most important thing you needed to know was in this part already. This 7% yield may be the safest on the FTSE 100. I'd buy it in an ISA to retire early. Now, most of the time, articles like this are sponsored or have something strange to it, because why would you ever post it like that, right? It sounds kind of strange and kind of odd for me, in my opinion, to be so happy about a stock ever. Now is a tough time to become an income investor. To be an income investor, as stock markets crash and FTSE 100 companies scrap their dividends. This makes life harder for investors who want to buy reliable income stocks for their stocks and shares ISA to fund an early retirement. I have been casting around for dividends that should endure even if the economic lockdown and stock market crash continue. I was therefore fascinated to see a report by Deutsche Bank which named tobacco dividends as among the safest in the market. So, I actually don't, all right, this is my personal opinion, take it or leave it, all right, this is not complete financial advice, this is just my personal opinion. I think tobacco companies are not as reliable as they might seem. Reason for that being is that governments are increasingly pushing them down. And here in the Netherlands, for example, I believe this year even, or maybe next year, prices are going to be going up per pack with another euro. And then I believe the year afterwards is going to go up with another euro to, I think, like 10 euros a pack. I don't know what it normally costs. I have no idea. And those things could really hurt the model, right? They really could hurt if they were to become a lot worse. At this point right now, yes, they are quite safe. Why? Because those margins really do not matter too much to habit smokers. They will still buy it regardless of if it's €1 more or less. They really don't care that much. But at one point, maybe there's going to be a global shift where people are like, yeah, this is too expensive. I'm not going to be doing that anymore. I'm wasting hundreds of euros every month. But that will also depend on how other countries react to it, because, of course, in different countries, you have different prices. And in many countries, it's so ridiculously cheap that there will always be enough people who will be able to smuggle it down to really get good prices and whatnot. So for right now, yes, it's true, but it won't really be that way for a very long time as global health concerns also increase. But yeah, that's just my opinion on it. Here they're talking really, really nicely on British American tobacco. But again, it kind of looks a little bit like an advertisement, the way they wrote this one, which is why I'm a little bit skeptical with it to get too far into it. All right, this article, I don't know if I can show it because, of course, you know, they don't like to show this type of stuff on YouTube, but I've been placed on furlough. Do I have to accept a pay cut? So the question is, thousands of workers have been placed on the government's workplace retention scheme, which will cover 80% of their wages during the outbreak. The problem, however, is it is only up to a maximum of £2,500 per month, which is definitely a lot of money for most people. I think it's really a lot of money. But if you're earning £30,000 a month right now, for example, I mean, that's a pretty big cut, right? I do get that. And the question is, do you have to accept it or can you fight it or something like that? I actually don't know. And kind of coincidentally, because I didn't read this part, for those staff with salaries over £30,000 or not topped by an employer, this would mean a pay cut. Oh, okay, they're saying $30,000 a year, which would already equate to more than $2,500 a month, or £2,500. And yeah, that would be a pay cut, and thus that would not be nice or anything like that. I don't really know exactly what the complaint is either. I mean, if you don't accept it, what's going to happen then, right? I don't really know. But yeah, I guess that's for everybody to figure out as time moves on. As right now, it's just a really uncertain time, and there's questions like this popping up. But maybe you're wondering the same thing. Well, now you know it's not just you. There's many people who are confused, and even I'm kind of confused as to what the rules are in this whole grand scheme of things. Like, will you get compensated? Is it a loan? Will you just get free money? Do you ever have to do something back for it? Is it just completely free, or how does it all work out? I don't know. New Zoom user below. This is how thousands of video chats are available for everyone to view online. So, this is a cybersecurity journalist, and she's saying it's easy to feel sorry for Zoom. After 2 weeks of privacy scandals, news of Zoom bombing, and user data being sent to China, it has now emerged that thousands of Zoom videos are available online for anyone to see. The videos include sensitive chats such as business meetings and sessions with therapists and even nudity. The Washington Post reported, "It's a shocking revelation. So how on earth has this happened? Unsecured cloud storage left Zoom videos exposed," is basically the point to it all, and what you should do as a Zoom user. So after this latest security snafu, what should Zoom users do? Well, it's a difficult question, and unfortunately one that doesn't have a straight answer. Lots of people need to use Zoom. It is a highly functional platform, and if your boss, teacher, or therapist uses it, you are at their mercy. That's why I wrote an article about how to secure Zoom as much as possible, and I wouldn't recommend Zoom for sensitive chats. It's better to sign to a more secure alternative as Signal or FaceTime, or for that matter, even WhatsApp, I think does a very good job as of yet. I've not seen too many scandals happen with that quite yet. But yeah, that's my personal opinion to it all. Bill Ackman, get ready for the bargains of a lifetime. Hedge fund manager Bill Ackman is turning bullish and putting his money into bargain stocks. And actually, one fun article I forgot to share just now was that also Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway earlier told us that they would not be selling airline stock, but actually they have done that. You know, in a later tweet, we noticed that they have decided to sell some airline stock, which is also interesting. You know, Bill Ackman, hedge fund manager Bill Ackman, is turning bullish and putting his money into bargain stocks, buying some cheap little stockies right here and there. Hedge fund manager Bill Ackman has had a few rough years, says Matt Levine on Bloomberg. His woes included a $4 billion loss on Valeant Pharmaceuticals. The firm's shares fell 90% amid drug pricing scandals and accounting fraud, and a $1 billion loss on supplement firm Herbalife. Ackman argued it was a pyramid scheme and shorted it. The stock kept going up. But the corona crisis has been good to him. You don't make a 10,000% return in 20 days very often. Yes, that's what Ackman has managed with one well-timed trade, and thus, again, he's trying to get himself some more. After 1 month, he closed the trade pocketing $2.6 billion, and thus, it's pretty freaking nice. That's a pretty nice one right there. First, U.S. bank falls amid CV recession is what I want to end this one off with. The banks are starting to fall. Digital things are starting to really pop up here. And it's all the beginning of the end is what some are saying. Some say it's all the end of the beginning. Whatever it is, guys. I'm really quite excited for what it has to bring for us in terms of, I guess, markets. In terms of health, I wish everybody the best. Stay inside if you can. Stay safe. And whatever I should say right there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to support it. I want to hit 1,000 subscribers. I want to hit 2,500. It would be so amazing. But let's do every piece by piece. Maybe we'll hit it one day. I'm very excited to talk to you guys more about finance. I'll see you guys again in another finance video.